Welcome back to the Manhattan Project. I'm Jesse.
Todd.
And we've got a special episode for you guys. We're going to feature one of the new Jack Daniels bottled in bond whiskeys. We're going to do something a little bit different, but we also haven't done this in a while. Welcome back.
Yet again.
Yes. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to bring you guys into what we do a lot of times before we shoot our episodes. And what that is we are going to taste the whiskey neat. Through probably my fault, we only have one Glencairn. We had a casualty at some point in time. So we're going to use this opportunity to get some differences in some nosing between a Glencairn and like a regular rocks glass.
Yeah, so we threw it out there several episodes ago. If anybody would be interested in seeing how a neat pour would compare to a putting the same whiskey into a Manhattan. So here tonight we are going to do this in a rocks glass and a Glencairn to see how they compare. If there is the actual difference that all the experts say there should be. So what is, in your mind, what is the difference between a Glen and a rocks glass?
I mean,
obviously,
so
you're
if you
supposed
look
to be able to
at,
get your nose down into a Glen, right?
we are. So, if you look at the shape of a Glencairn versus the shape of a rocks, in this case a double rocks, right? The lip or the rim of the glass is significantly larger on a double rocks or rocks than it is on a Glen. And then you have a slightly wider bowl. And what that allows for is for the aromas that you're coming up, basically the ethanols that are breaking down, and that's what you're really smelling,
Right.
to concentrate at the rim of the glass.
Right. Versus just everything dissipating with a standard glass.
Yeah. So, something like this, you can swirl it around, get some of that whiskey up on the walls of the glass. And it just really gives you a much better representation of the smell that you can get from any particular whiskey. Where something like this, you can kind of get it up on the walls of the glass too, but it's going to dissipate.
Okay.
Right? You have way more air, and it just has a larger opening to escape from.
So among the two of us, I'm by far the more of the whiskey noob as far as neat pours. So let's
Go ahead.
Let's do both of these and see how we both feel about what the difference is.
Sure. And, one of the other things that we do too is we do a little bit of research into what we're drinking. A lot of that doesn't come through in the final episode because that's not the point of what we're trying to do.
Right. But
since we're going to reel this back in and go through some of the process, so let's talk a little bit about the mash bill. I've got it pulled up on the website. So this is the triple mash. So it's a blend of bonded American malt, rye, and Tennessee whiskeys. So this comes in at 100 proof. And the actual mash bill is 60% Jack Daniels Tennessee rye, 20% Jack Daniels Tennessee whiskey, and 20% Jack Daniels American malt, which is 100% malted barley. And then there's plenty of places that you can look this information up and get different tasting notes and stuff like that. But we're going to go through and we're going to kind of hash it out with what we would usually do.
Right.
So I'm going to nose this one.
Okay.
And then you nose that one, and I'm going to kind of give you some of the things that I get off of this. So I don't get a ton of oak.
No.
Very little bit. I get some red raspberries.
Mm-hmm.
I get a little bit of like spice. Maybe that's that rye, a little bit of rye that's shining through there.
I'm getting a little bit of cherry.
I could see cherry, like dark red fruits.
Right.
Yeah, dark red fruits.
Yeah, more like a fig than a cherry, probably.
I don't get like the dark sweetness that I would get from something that has that fig, but I definitely can see cherries, like a Bing cherry, almost like a chocolate covered Bing cherry. Sounds a little wild, but I mean, that's what I get. So
Okay.
here, let's switch, and then see if you get anything that I said. It's a little bit more pronounced with that glass. Oh yeah,
It's definitely more pronounced, but it's more pronounced, but it doesn't.
it's not different.
No, but it doesn't. The profile doesn't jump out at me. Whatever the difference is, isn't jumping out at me.
Yeah, see, this is just very subdued, right?
Right.
That's very concentrated.
Right. And again,
This I have to search for 'em.
well, and again, I'm the noob, so I have to be talked into a lot of this.
Yeah.
Less so when I actually taste it.
So let's taste.
Okay.
Cheers. That's really good. So I have read a lot of reviews about this, and it's the general consensus that I've seen is that it does very well.
Right.
And you know what most of you guys out there would think of when you think of Jack Daniels.
Show them the empty bottle.
Well, yeah, you know, because we drink.
Right.
You know, this is what you guys are thinking of, right? And
Well,
this is nothing like that at all.
Well, there's something reminiscent about it, like 10%. Like I could taste a little bit of that in there.
I got a question though.
Doesn't taste like Coke. No.
Okay, you knew where I was going.
Yeah, I do. This is so much more elevated than standard Jack Daniel's Black Label.
Yeah.
So good.
So I get a lot of the same thing. I get the red. I get the cherry, red raspberry, and chocolate.
Okay.
I get all the same things. It's not super complex. It's pretty straightforward. You know, you don't have to dig too deep to figure out what you're getting out of this. But it's nice. It's a nice whiskey.
It is.
You know, and at 100 proof, it drinks very easy. Mm-hmm. You know, some of y'all out there might say it's pretty smooth, but you know,
There's a tiny bit of burn, but not too much. Not
at all.
Not too much ethanol.
So, you know, all in all, like I'm very pleased with the bottle, and if you can get it at MSRP, it's in the $30 range,
Right.
upper 30s. But it's it's a limited. I don't know if I call it limited edition or I don't think this is regular production yet.
Okay.
So it's not going to be the easiest thing to find. I picked this up at Total Wine, and they had it locked in a cabinet
Right. Really?
at like $38.
That's odd.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. But yeah, so I think neat. I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
This isn't going to score on a scale of 1 to 10. It's not going to score incredibly high, but it's a good solid. I would say this is probably a good solid 7.5.
I'm okay with that.
It's above average.
I don't have enough frame of reference on neat pours to really put my stamp on that.
Yeah,
One way or another.
Nothing crazy.
Right.
Good solid, above average, middle of the road. 7.5 is
Right.
where I've got.
That other people are looking for because wow,
Jeez.
that was pathetic.
So yeah, so here we are. This is where we would usually pick it up with you guys.
Then it instantly goes back to smelling like a Manhattan. Once you introduce,
Surprisingly enough,
Once
this
you-
smells like a Manhattan.
it's amazing once you add vermouth to whiskey, how that transforms the smell.
I get cinnamon, which I didn't get in the neat.
Well, I think that's one of the bonuses about vermouth is it opens your palate up to certain tastes and smells in this case.
Cheers. Boy,
That's a very good Manhattan.
it's really good. And the problem with this is I think that it's probably one of the easiest drinking Manhattans that we've ever made here.
And if you had to put a con on it, what would it be?
It's not very whiskey forward.
It's sweet.
It is sweet.
It's very sweet.
It's sweet. I get cinnamon on the nose. I get cinnamon on the palate. A little bit of nutmeg. Which again, some of you out there, yes, those are spices.
All right, troll.
Anyway. You know, I think I enjoy this way more neat than I do in a Manhattan.
It's too sweet. Yeah, it's kind of like Makers.
All right, hold on.
We've had a few that have been overly sweet, and this I think is one of them.
How's it now?
I haven't tasted it yet.
Swirl it around a little bit.
Can you give me a minute to taste it, please?
So if you double the Jack in here, oh, see, now it smells like Jack.
Yeah, it's a better Manhattan, based on what we want.
It is.
Um,
And I think those like kind of more nuanced flavors that you get from this whiskey lend itself probably a little bit more to drinking it neat, or maybe if you want to throw an ice cube in there, if that's your thing, a couple drops of water, something like that. I don't know that this is really your Manhattan whiskey.
right. I agree.
Right? It's good, right? But it's not great.
Right.
I would say it's probably still above average, but not by much. So I would probably, on a Manhattan scale, 1 to 10, I'd give it a 5.5.
I think that's what we gave regular Jack Daniels. Black
Yeah,
Label.
yeah, and it's but neat. They're so different. They're so different.
Yeah.
But when you put them in a cocktail and you add the other ingredients in there, those flavors a lot of times tend to come to the forefront, and it masks a lot of the delicateness and a lot of the additional flavors that you get from this when you drink it neat.
Yeah, and I would not be putting this in a Coke.
No.
It's so much better than regular Jack Daniels.
Agreed. It's a real whiskey.
So for me, as far as the bunghole scale, it needs to go above the standard Jack Daniels Black Label. I think we had that at 5.5, so I say 6.
But
Because
the flavors are so different. And I think in a Manhattan that it's really not no more or less enjoyable than the standard Jack number 7.
I don't agree.
All right.
Okay.
So I can defer to you.
Okay.
I can say 6. I'm good with 6. I think it's above average.
Yeah.
But I do think it's better neat than it is.
And we have some 8.5, 9, 9.5 on the board, so it really doesn't matter at this point.
No, for sure. It's not going to beat any of those. It's not going to even come close.
But we need an official score, so we're just going to go with 6.
6 is good.
Okay.
So 6 is good. And if you want to put something on it for the neat pour, I still think 6.5 is our number.
Okay.
So I like 6.5 neat, and I like a 6.0 in a Manhattan.
Love it.
It's borderline 7 neat, but I just don't think it's quite there.
Okay.
It's not quite there. But it is good.
Right. So I have a theory on this, based on what I was tasting, that we need to remake it, but we need to remake it with walnut bitters, black walnut bitters.
Ooh.
I know it's going to make it even more sweeter,
Yeah.
but I think it's going to open it up, the complexity of it.
Okay.
Fortunately, look what I have.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
No Manhattan left behind.
Cheers.
We will be back.
Don't move. Here we are again. We've cleaned up. We're making another batch. Except this time we're going to add a dash of black walnut bitters, and I'm not going to spill half of the pour
Thank you.
on the bar, because...
I'm just glad I didn't pay for that bottle.
Bet you are. Bet you are, buddy. All right. 2 ounces whiskey. 1 ounce
Sweet Italian vermouth.
sweet Italian
So
vermouth.
sweet.
It's so sweet. All right. So we usually do... Where are you going? He's walking away. All right. So we usually do 4 dashes. We're going to do 3. And we're going to add 1 dash of Fee Brothers Black Walnut Bitters. And I will tell you, if you guys out there decide to get a bottle of that, please use it sparingly, because it goes a long way.
But it's well worth the price.
Agreed.
If you've never had black walnut bitters, it's pretty amazing.
Okay, boom. There that is. And you all know what time it is. We stir. All right, and we stirred.
Oh, wow. Got to bear witness to the double tap.
Not many people get to see that. And we strain.
Yeah, seen that yet, have you?
What?
The strain.
Oh, yeah, I did. It wasn't until you said something that it reminded me. Okay.
Cherries.
Yeah.
Spoon's right there.
Let's bring that back in. Frame the bottle. Look at the bottle. Look at the bottle. Look at Todd. Look at the bottle. Okay. Cherry.
Cherry.
Okay. Black walnut bitters. You can already smell it.
Yeah.
It is amazing just how much that one dash
Yeah.
transforms the drink.
Agreed. Oh, wow, one dash.
It's way better.
So much.
It's better, but I just don't get much of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. I get vermouth and bitters, very well rounded. The whiskey blends it all together very well, but I think as we've established on the channel, we both like whiskey forward cocktails.
Yep.
And this is not that.
And the black walnut, while it's super delicious, it kind of masks the whiskey even more.
I was going to say, it just brings another flavor that hides that.
Right.
Pushes that back.
Yep.
Right?
And I think and for me, that's been Jack Daniels in general, where it...
Single barrels.
okay,
barrel
well,
proof.
We haven't got there yet.
For a later time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah, when you get a 60-something% alcohol
and
ABV.
And if someone wants
Jack.
to send us a bottle of Coy Hill, or even a small bottle of Coy Hill,
Coy Hill, we'll take a 2-ounce sample. Take a 3-ounce sample.
we'll gladly try
2
that.
ounce to split into 2 Manhattans and 1 ounce to split into a neat pour.
And the good part is we won't have to drink anymore after that at 150 proof or something like that.
It's like 140.
Okay.
So it depends on the specific bottle, but yeah, you're in the 130s to 140 plus.
So as far
If
as
it's a hazmat,
this versus the last one, I feel like this.
I think it's better because I like black walnut.
Right. Yep.
But I don't think it's better because it enhanced the Jack.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So, in a Manhattan, I still have this as a 6.
I agree.
Right?
Yep.
Because it's not what I'm looking for in a Manhattan.
So-
And if we stick with the premise of the channel, what whiskey makes the best Manhattan, this certainly doesn't.
Right.
It makes a good one, and it makes one that's easy to drink. But
Right.
it's not the best. So if you guys out there already have this bottle, feel free to try it, see what you think. But I would reserve this for drinking neat on the rocks. I wouldn't make a I wouldn't make another Manhattan out
I
of this.
tend to agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So
let's wrap it up.
well, there it is.
Yeah.
Hey, until next time, Facebook, YouTube.
We are on YouTube. Yeah, that's where they're watching.
No,
us.
no. But the rest of the YouTube videos. What's the thing I'm looking for? Todd has an OnlyFans.
Jesse's the only subscriber.
God, you guys don't want to see that. Patreon is what I was actually searching for.
We have some Amazon links for our glassware and some other things. But
Yeah, but until then, hope you guys happy dreams of Todd's OnlyFans.
yeah, they're gonna finish this bottle after seeing that.
All right, let's cut it off.
Yeah.
Cheers.
No Manhattan left behind.
Nobody knows these fools.